especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him. So
responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol.
Canelo, man, I don't know if he's cheating.
What do you mean?
I feel like Canelo juices.
Concerned about Canelo Alvarez's abrupt muscular gain and previous failed performance-enhancing drug tests, boxing experts expose him for using steroids prior to the Terence Crawford battle. David Benavidez intervenes as well, asking why, if Canelo is genuinely confident, he avoids confronting him. He adds weight to the claims surrounding the impending bout by pointing out that 5 members of Canelo's squad tested positive for steroids, implying that the entire camp is dishonest, including Canelo, due to allegations that he personally provides performance-enhancing drugs to fighters in his camp.
If you likes this, please subscribe, Fight File, and click the bell icon for more new boxing updates.
Mexican boxing fights of all time, in my opinion. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me. Especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him. So he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does 5?
You saw De La Hoya
How do 5 people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
Right.
You know what I mean? No, all those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
I seen Eddie Reynoso on my fight, so we made a joke. He said like he came to watch me the fight and shit. And then they're like, "Oh, you think he's?" In my head, I'm like, "What do you think Eddie Reynoso's thinking about?" He's like, "Are we gonna fight David Benavidez after seeing this fight?" In his head, Eddie Reynoso's like, "Fuck no, we not fighting him."
Yeah, of course. Yeah, honestly, I don't blame Canelo. It's fucked up because there's a lot of money.
It's not even about the money. It's not about the money.
Yeah, but okay,
100 million, dude. You kidding me?
The first step when you're a fucking warrior, bro, the only thing you think about is glory. I've never thought about money. I've been smart. I'm negotiating my shit, but it's always a prize, bro. It's always, if I go out there and beat Canelo, bro, I'm a legend. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna live forever in boxing as a legend. That means way more to me than any type of money.
And I think that separates you too, David. And I admire that shit about you. I was like that at one point.
Yeah.
How much you giving me?
Yeah.
and not to just bypass him. Shout out to Morel as well.
Yeah, shout out to Morel.
Eddie Reynoso's gym has been under intense scrutiny. Among them is Canelo Alvarez, who trains under Reynoso and has been accused of using steroids twice before. The fact that multiple fighters from the same club have tested positive raises questions about the training environment. According to critics, many people are wondering how Canelo manages to bulk up so quickly he gets ready for his fight with Terence Crawford. It's quite hard to naturally put on a lot of muscle in your 30s.
Pressed serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero had said, a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200 and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not gonna get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old, I'm not. If by 55 years old, I'm not. The only way I'm gonna get up to 260 of muscle is if I'm juicing.
According to observers. However, Canelo's body now seems much larger than it did previously. Given the background connected to Reynoso's camp, this has just stoked more conjecture. Both fans and experts are starting to question whether Canelo's physical change is organic, or if it's just another instance of performance-enhancing drugs subtly influencing the results of big bouts. Serious discussions have been triggered within the boxing community by Joe Rogan's remarks regarding Canelo Alvarez.
If for a 30-year-old, right, you remember, your body grows, men's body can grow in height and length up until to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length. In your mid-20s, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30. So Canelo Alvarez is about to fight a guy that is going to put on 20 pounds of muscle.
Rogan, a lifelong analyst of combat sports and physical performance, said that it's odd to see someone in their 30s gaining so much muscle mass so quickly. He underlined that as people age, their natural muscle growth drastically slows down. Canelo has defied that tendency, though Rogan sees it as science, not just suspicion. According to him, such a dramatic change is not just difficult to accomplish organically. Without assistance, it's practically impossible. People pay attention when someone with Rogan's influence and knowledge of top conditioning raises questions. As the bout between Terence Crawford and Canelo approaches.
And Canelo, man, I don't know if he's cheating.
What do you mean?
I feel like Canelo juices. But I'm a Triple G fan, so I'm a say that ahead of time. I just like Triple G.
There's a lot of money on the line, and if I could get away with it, I would do it as well.
Some tainted beefs.
I think, well, he definitely got busted once for something, but it could have been from tainted beef. We don't know. But it also could be that, we should probably leave them the fuck alone and let them do whatever they want to do. Do you want to see Manny Pacquiao fight or not? Right? I want to see him juiced up, fighting at 45 years of age, coming in with a full six-pack, lighting people on fire.
Fans and commentators are talking more and more about steroid use. Many claim that if it were discovered that Canelo was using performance-enhancing drugs, they wouldn't be surprised in the least. The logic is straightforward. He has access to the greatest medical professionals, dietitians, facilities, and rehabilitation aids available. And the temptation to cut corners is quite real when someone has limitless resources and the will to succeed. Critics contend that Canelo has every opportunity to take illegal substances in his surroundings without facing immediate repercussions. That concludes the video for today. Keep an eye out.